It's Monster Energy Cup Series racing. Today's Coke Zero Sugar 400 from Daytona International Speedway. As Dale Earnhardt Jr. just mentioned, a very special place. The field set by the rule book. Qualifying was canceled because of weather. That means owner points has Kyle Busch and Joey Logano making up the front row. Coming to the green flag, racing at Daytona.
Four car, Kevin Harvick, to show what you're talking about. So right there, he's right underneath the 22 and just loses the front. And then when he gets out in that wake, watch right here. He's tight, he's tight. Now he gets out there and the air dumps on the nose, and all of a sudden he's loose. And that was that jerk of the wheel to the right trying to save the back of the car. It's not going to be as bad up tight because of what Junior said. You just don't have to turn the wheel as much. You're not asking as much of your car.
Look how much he's turned the steering wheel. Look at that red mark on the steering wheel. He's turning it. Other guys back in the pack in fourth, fifth, and on back, they're turning the steering wheel twice as much because of that dirty air. Working that right front tire real hard.
One more time around for stage one. It has been a Ford-dominated stage. Logano led 34 laps. Kevin Harvick has led 12 laps. And now they dive to the bottom.
And the Fords went to the bottom. Some of the Fords went to the bottom. Some of them couldn't go to the bottom.
Brad Keselowski stuck in the middle here.
Yeah, so Kevin Harvick did what he had to do. He couldn't worry about all those Fords. That's what he should have done.
Here comes Stenhouse in the 17 with a run. He's going to push the 22. Logano fighting for this stage win as he pulls in front of the 4, and now he'll start to block. Logano in front of the 17, coming out of turn 4.
Oh, contact behind them.
All the way to the dogleg.
And Joey Logano will win stage 1 at Daytona.
That was a stage, and all bets were off on the back straightaway between manufacturers and teammates. That answers the question for all of us.
At least with Ford.
Absolutely.
Hey, Rick, remember what happened earlier the week in practice? Brad Keselowski, William Byron threw a very small block on him. He put the bumper to him and spun out William Byron. He said he wanted to send a message to the entire field. I asked him about that earlier this week, and he said, you know what? It was nothing personal against William, but sometimes you have to draw a line in the sand and send a message. Keselowski sending the message on the left-hand side, and we saw him sending the message to his own corporate teammate, Kevin Harvick, on the right-hand side a moment ago. I'm not lifting today.
17. Stenhouse Jr. was in front of the 1 of Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch didn't lift, and around went Stenhouse. Into the grass he goes. Caution comes out.
That's a good thing you went through that grass backwards. That was it. Going through it backwards really helped save the front of that car. As wet as it is, as much rain as we've had, if he cannot stay, you see the hood damage. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. trying to hold that line of Chevrolets behind, got tight on corner exit. Kurt got underneath him and was not going to cut him a break. Stenhouse goes around.
He's fourth in line there along the bottom. As you said, picked up his first career win a week ago. Well, he was also second the last time NASCAR went super speedway racing at Talladega. When I asked his crew chief, Greg Ives, what his strengths were, he said patience. But he said he's almost patient to a fault, and he credited Dale Jr. for helping him to get more aggressive, and now he got a spin.
And the 1 of Kurt Busch, he's able to save it, but you have damage to the left front of that car, and the caution has come out once again. So there had to have been some contact here.
That's somebody else's car, I think. So there's a car around here with more damage.
We'll put right sides on it right here. When you come to us, pull the fenders out. Right side tires. Make sure the left are clearance. We come around, please.
We'll see here on this replay. Let's get an opportunity to look at it. Looks like it happened turns 3 and 4. We've seen all these cars get moved around. Here's a better look at the one car getting turned around and having contact with Brendan Gaughan there. Big damage to the right rear quarter panel on Brandon's car. I think Kurt actually is going to come out of this okay. But the damage to Brandon's car is pretty significant there.
And Brad Keselowski has had to work to get his way back up through the field. And here's the problem with not communicating what you're going to do on a stop. Brad Keselowski came in. They called a code word for the stop. He thought it was...
Into the wall. He got pushed into the wall, and now Brad Keselowski and others are sliding behind him. There goes the 38 of David Reagan making contact. Now they go into the infield grass as well.
Brad looked like he had a handful of race car off of turn 4. Looked like he was getting a little bit loose off turn 4 and having a hard time with that race car.
Daniel Hemrick, there you see the 8 of Hemrick making a left turn to go back to pit road. The 41 of Suarez also involved. A lot of damage to the 2 of Keselowski.
Let's see how all this started right here. Down. Oh, he gets a big push from the 4, and that just turned him. The 4 hit him pretty hard, and Brad just lost control of the car. Turned Brad into the outside wall really hard.
And they're starting to pull away from that outside line.
So Logano had to go up and do a huge block on Denny Hamlin. That's going to hurt that surge from the outside lane.
Austin Dillon, a little bit of a draft off that car. Might help him a little bit, keep these guys from getting a run.
They're pulling away. Does anybody get out of line and try to take the win away from Austin Dillon of these 4? Through 3 and 4 for the final time in stage 2. Exiting 4. They're all in line. Dillon. Then Bowman and Byron. Dillon's going to win the stage.
I didn't see any Chevrolet behind Austin Dillon develop a run that would have been worth trying.
Only 43 laps to go. The Monster Energy Cup Series Coke Zero Sugar 400. And slow on the track is the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Will he be able to get to the apron? He does. Can he stay out of the line as the racing continues? Austin Dillon up front. They shifted him out. Going to be a big one. Now around goes the 3 in front of the pack. They're all collected. The 11 with damage, the 22 as well.
Big right here.
Smoke rolling out of the cars that even cleared this incident. They shuffled out. The 11 of Denny Hamlin, and then while trying to regroup, the 3 of Austin Dillon gets around. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 17, major damage.
A lot of good cars in this wreck.
Chris Buescher in the 37, also the 18 of Kyle Busch.
Anytime you see a guy get turned around entering a corner, he's going up across the track. It's going to take a lot of guys with it. That's just one of the worst places, if not the worst place to get turned. And it's the blocking. The blocking we've talked about all weekend. And I think that a lot of guys might have Brad Keselowski's mental attitude about it. I'm not allowing it. I'm not putting up with it. We saw it already today with Kurt Busch, Ricky Stenhouse.
We just saw Clint Boyer climb out of his car. Ryan Blaney climbed out of his car.
Guys, the racing was intense, but it all started right here. The Chevy, the 3 of Austin Dillon changed lanes. He tries to make a move on a Toyota, loses momentum, blocks the 14. Now he's helping a Ford. I think he panics. What does he do? He goes back to the bottom, or does he block the 14? The 14 makes a move. The 3 blocks. You said it time and time again. Blocking causes accidents. This is an accident at the front of the field.
Yeah, it looks like Clint Boyer's pushing the 3, but he moves to go inside, and that upset the 3 a little bit. Got the 3 a little bit loose, but the 3 headed on down the track to try to block anyways, to try to get down there and protect that line, protect that lead.
Let's go back and look at that first view, because I think that, watch this first view. So right here, he makes the move, as he said. Here comes the 14 of Boyer. Good side draft on the 11. Here comes the 14 of Boyer. Now we got a great shot. Boyer gets into the back of him. He goes to turn left just a little bit, and when he did, he drug the 3 with him. The 3's on the bottom of the racetrack. You know, yeah. I don't know that that was a block. I think the 3 got there. He didn't mean to get there. It's just a little bit of contact.
When Clint goes across the back bumper of that 3, it turned the 3 sideways. It upset the back of that 3 car. And then at that moment, Austin's trying to just catch his car. He's steering the race car, trying to steer the back of the race car. It starts driving like a forklift at that moment. And then he's down the racetrack, trying to get down into turn 1.
Kurt Busch squirts out of this without an issue. William Byron, Jimmy Johnson, and Ty Dillon all able to negotiate and get through. And so they're the top 4 right now after this melee happens behind them.
Kurt Busch was one of those guys that was out on the racetrack leading the race, hoping that we would catch some weather and he would maybe declare the winner, but he has decided to come down pit road, get service.
So Justin Haley on our scoring monitor, and we're seeing a little bit of lightning there outside the track still, and of course the dark weather, but Justin Haley showed as the race leader, and he was a runner-up in the Xfinity Series race on Friday night.
What a family moment. Todd Braun, we mentioned him a moment ago. He's the one who really propelled all this. Owned XFINITY Series cars for 9 years. But you, young man, as you just said a moment ago, I'm just a dirt racer from Indiana. You are a Monster Energy Cup Series winner. Can you believe it?
It's absolutely a blessing. It's pretty incredible that I have so many great people around me that have given me this opportunity to come and to this level and the stage that we're performing on. Obviously, Todd and my family have done a great job, but the Fraternal Order of Eagles, everyone at the FOE, has given me this opportunity to Spire Motorsports. It's truly a blessing. I never even saw myself running a cup race until I got a call a few months ago to do Talladega. And it's just unreal. I don't know how to feel.
Hey, Rick was talking about your cousin's quarter midget a moment ago that you jumped into. Then you bought what you said was the worst quarter midget in the world. You painted that quarter midget all by yourself. You ever dream you would even race on this level, as you just mentioned, much less be a winner?
No, absolutely not. It's the stars aligned, and I didn't ever think I was going to get redemption back from a few years back in Daytona. Last year at Daytona when I got the Xfinity win taken away from me. So to come back and get redemption in the Cup Series is pretty cool, and it makes that second place finish with colleague last Friday a lot better.
How nerve-wracking was it sitting here talking to reporters as you were waiting for word?
Well, you just don't know. I mean, they keep asking you, how are you feeling? I'm like, well, I can't do anything about it. I mean, if we go racing, we go racing. If it rains out, we rain out. I can't do anything about it. So at the end of the day, I was just waiting.
Hey Motorsports fans, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe before you go for all the latest news and highlights across motorsports.